All right, hello and welcome to a special bonus episode of Codec Call. Just like doing this so much, we thought we'd pop another one in real quick for you guys. My name's Luke. Tonight I'm joined by Dakota. What's up?
Nothing much, man.
And Buckman.
What's up with you?
Oh,
Hello.
nothing. What's up with Buckman?
Much at all, not much at all.
All right, very cool, very clean.
Very clean.
So as we hinted at in episode 2, we wanted to do a episode just about Nintendo consoles because I know this is a topic that we feel pretty strongly about. We thought it would be a good conversation, a long form conversation and discussion. So tonight we're going to be digging into our favorite Nintendo consoles and hopefully come up with the official list, Z-Targeting's official list of top Nintendo consoles. So gentlemen, what are your thoughts on Nintendo consoles?
All right, can we... okay, so this is what I really want to establish. Are we counting only home consoles? I know that those are consoles, like, obviously. But I'm saying, like, are we counting Game Boy? Like, how in-depth is this going?
Yeah.
So
Because
Definitely
Game Boy's
handhelds.
huge. I mean,
So we're definitely doing... are we going all the way back, like, with Game & Watch? Or are we just starting with Game Boy?
I think Game Boy's baller. Game Boy's where that started.
I don't think Game & Watch is a
Okay.
legitimate contender. You know,
All right.
the best.
I made my own list, and I was thinking if we were putting Game & Watch on there or not. So I didn't know. So I missed. So okay.
So yeah, we should
Hold
establish which ones are we talking about? Which ones are we ranking?
Exactly.
Okay. Dakota, you got your notepad and pen at the ready?
I am. I
Okay.
do. I mean, I am.
All right. So NES. Then
All right.
Game Boy was 80,
SNES. Oh, Game Boy.
was 89, SNES in 90 or 91.
Right. I'm not putting these in chronological order. I'm just writing in what the options are.
Oh, okay.
N64.
N64, yes.
Game Boy Color, or are we just
I would
Game Boy
loop.
Color?
I would consider.
Oh, you're looping them?
Game Boy and Game Boy Color would be the same console, I think. Game Boy Advances would be where it's a shift. It's the next thing.
Why? Okay, I'm curious. Why are you shifting it there?
Because it wasn't different enough. It wasn't an actual like leap of different.
I agree. I'm just wondering what your reasoning is.
We could put Game
All right,
Boy
so-
/ Color.
Okay. Color, Advance,
Game Boy Advance, GameCube.
Wii, DS. Are we doing DS and 3DS, or are we looping them together?
Those would be two
Just
separate.
DSs?
The DS family and then the 3DS family.
All right, and then Wii U.
Wii U, the clear champion. Or I guess we'll get to that.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa. Hey, we haven't started this yet. All right. I think. All right. So, hold on. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Isn't there like 15?
10.
That's 10.
No, there's only 10.
Oh, if we're merging.
Yeah, we're merging Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and all the other equivalents like Game Boy Pocket and all.
Oh,
those.
even like DSs and 3DS. That's
Well,
all.
no, DS and 3DS are separate.
separate.
Are we counting 2DS? Or is that just going
that's in the
with
3DS family. Because you want to.
Okay.
I feel like we should
Yeah.
put it as like things that can play the same game. So DS, DS Lite, DSi.
I
etc.
agree.
Is one thing. 3DS,
And Game Boy,
3DS.
Game Boy Color could play Game Boy. Game Boy could not play Game Boy Color, but whatever. That's not important.
Virtual Boy? Ooh.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Oh, God.
I don't
okay.
think we should.
Disaster,
well,
dude.
Is
shit,
anybody going to
man.
put that in a spot that's not last place?
No.
I don't think we
Fuck
need to
no.
worry about it.
That thing should be.
All right,
burnt
so we're
up.
taking that off. So top 10.
VR, this is a big time for VR, so you know that was cutting edge.
Oh,
No,
God.
we're not counting that. That was the poorest attempt at VR ever. Whatever.
Yep. So I think this.
So we have 10.
Yeah, it's a good list. 10 legitimate contenders.
All right.
Good consoles
All right.
/ handhelds.
Is this gonna be a long episode? If it's, you know what? Screw it. I'm saying it. Wii U is last. I mean, Wii is last. I'm saying Wii is last. I don't know if anybody else wants to agree. I hate the Wii. I'm not a fan of it. And for everybody that is listening to this, I want to make very clear that the Wii won its console generation. In case anybody was wondering, it won
How are you
console
measuring
generation.
that? By sales alone?
By sales.
Just by
Yeah,
sales?
I'm
Okay.
just saying sales.
Yeah.
The reason why is because I literally had an argument not too long ago about who. One guy thought the Xbox 360 won the console generation, and it didn't. It was the Wii, and it drove me
By
nuts.
raw sales, yes. Because it was
Yes.
100-some million, and PS3 and 360
Dude,
finished at
now
around
you're
80 million
getting
each.
I'm just gonna say yes. I don't know exact sales figures.
It's something over 100 million, but
Well, yeah,
PS2
I knew
was
that. I just don't know
150, so
exactly.
I believe it was less than that.
Dude, I'll take your word for
let's
it.
fact check that real quick,
Why are we fact checking?
just to be legit. We need to appear to be official.
All right,
Too
so
legit.
this is what I'm legit about. Wii is 10. Anybody else have an argument?
This is what I'm legit about.
I mean,
It's the only thing.
I would put that in. That would be in
I
my
can't
bottom
think of
3.
anything worse. Say what? It would be your bottom 3?
It's definitely my bottom 3. Okay, worldwide
All right.
was 101 million. So, okay, fact
Didn't you
has
say that?
been checked. Let's see here.
Hashtag fact check 2016.
Yeah, I would have to say
So-
I would agree that Wii is last because and for the record, Nintendo has done a lot of backwards compatibility and like cross compatibility, but out of fairness and objectivity, we should only be focusing on the games for those consoles,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. After the reason why I'm saying 10 is because like I said in the previous episode, I was not a fan of the motion controls. I was stuff. No, not into
It
it.
got old quick. It was really cool, but within a year, it had died out.
It was really cool. You know what? I'm not even going to give it a year. I'm going to say 3 years. Within 3 years, I was done and bored beyond.
Seems like a long life.
I was done
Actually-
sooner than that personally, but
Yeah.
fair.
I'm just being like, this is definitely whenever I was like, let's put this away and I'm not touching it again. That's what I'm saying.
And it was just
I
so
will say that
underpowered, and it was so backwards because it was doing whatever it did,
Exactly.
and then 360.
Graphics now look great.
Yeah, and 360 at the time was pushing HDTV sales, made that mainstream, amazing online communities. Like that was next gen. It just fell to the wayside.
And I was thinking about games that were actually like important, and honestly, there wasn't many I could think of. Like obscure games that you don't really think about as being very important. Like I was thinking, Boom Blocks.
Yeah,
That was a great one.
Yeah,
That was a
That
good
was
game.
an amazing one. And honestly, after that, I'm done.
like
That may be the last.
that was one of the few
Like-
awesome games that actually used the capabilities of the system. And other stuff, it was
Exactly.
good games that happened to be on Wii.
Actually, Rayman Rabbids was really good. Rabbit, whatever it was.
Yeah,
That one
I only
wasn't
played the first one just because it came out at launch. I mean, it's cool, but whatever.
It used the controls very well. That's
Yeah.
really about it. But then again, so did Wii Sports. But
I mean, like-
it's not-
Oh yeah.
I mean, Wii Sports, Twilight Princess was pretty good. New Super Mario Bros. Was good.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii was awesome solely for the fact that it had like co-op, because you could have I think like up to 4 people, but like as a huge Mario fan and like Super Mario World's one of my favorite games ever. I kind of think New Super Mario Bros. That whole series kind of bastardized the 2D Mario platformers, and it doesn't have quite that same heart. It just feels like fake to me. But the co-op in that game is cool.
I could see where you're saying that. It was just really good throwing people off cliffs, like
Yeah.
your own friends throwing them
Yeah,
off cliffs.
that's the fun. The best part was just screwing around with people.
Right.
Couch co-op.
So Buckman, you're fine with 10 for the Wii? 10?
Oh,
Wii?
absolutely. Yep.
I think
You can sit there.
I think the two really like timeless must-play Wii games were probably like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and then like
Right.
Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was like really important for like reviving JRPGs. So there's that,
But
and there's not much else beside that. Twilight Princess.
exactly.
And other than that, like
I mean,
I don't know.
and Twilight Princess. My issue with Twilight Princess is the GameCube one was better.
Yeah, because it didn't have
the
motion controls.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
And basically by that point, it's not a Wii game. If it doesn't have motion controls, it's not a Wii game anymore. Like after that, we're getting into like, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, Guitar Hero 3 was pretty cool, and that had nothing to do with motion controls at all. I mean,
it's
bad.
I'm a fan of. I mean, I love Metroid. Prime 3 was the weakest of the trilogy, but
exactly.
In its defense, it was the last great Metroid game because everything since then's been shit. But still, like Prime 1 mops the floor with it.
You didn't like Federation Force?
That's not in this conversation. That's not in any conversation.
Just curious.
Whenever they announced that, like I completely died inside. Like I'm officially dead. There's no reason to. No, I swore off Nintendo for a month and then I got back on board. But
did you buy it?
No, fuck no. Oh my god, no.
I'm just checking. Who knows?
Never.
All right, so can we move on now?
Mm-hmm.
So we have 10 Wii. Now this is where I have the issues.
Yep.
Is what? Where are we putting in 9? I have an idea of DS.
No way.
You're not playing DS?
DS may be my favorite Nintendo console.
Holy hell!
Yeah,
I can't. You can't.
Nintendogs, man. I mean,
yeah. What?
Not Nintendogs, but there's countless small amazing experiences. Trauma Center.
Okay. So
Ace Attorney, Professor Layton, Hotel Dusk, all the Mega Man games, all the Castlevania games. Like I can go on and on about the amazing games that are on DS.
So what are you wanting to put there? Okay, so fine then. I'm writing down. Time out. Just to keep everything.
Yeah.
I'm writing down DS for Buckman and I. And then what do you want there, Luke?
Okay, so here's my thing. I recognize certain Nintendo consoles as being incredibly important historically, but their games don't hold up, and I don't want to play.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be hard too.
I would put Game Boy there.
Game Boy Color.
Yeah,
both.
Yeah,
that's true. Ooh,
I'm disagreeing with you.
Because I mean, I feel like many people would, but
I mean, see, this is really the issue. Like, okay, I'm gonna say Pokemon. Yeah. Original Pokemon on that destroys all the new stuff. As much as I hate to admit it, that's the nostalgia factor that causes that to destroy it. But
are you a red and blue guy or gold silver guy?
I'm a red and blue guy.
I think gold and silver were the best. The perfect Pokemon games.
I mean,
I played blue for eternity.
Yeah, I still have blue.
Yeah,
still. I mean, I still have all the other ones too, but I'm saying like blue, whenever I load up, this doesn't really help my argument, but whenever I load up freaking Pokemon Stadium, I put my blue version in there, mainly because that's the only one I have that works, but...
What else is going to work with Pokemon Stadium?
That's my point.
Okay, so let's put this into perspective. What are the great Game Boy games? Tetris, the Pokemons, and the Zelda games that released for Game Boy. What else is there?
You're gonna argue it, but Frogger is pretty good.
No, that's not a timeless Game Boy game. That's not something that cements Game Boy as an amazing piece of hardware.
You know what? Okay, you may have put a pretty good argument in there.
And okay, so like I said, for me, I think Game Boy and NES don't hold up to history. Those were my things to put there, honestly.
I agree with you because I'm trying to leave out nostalgia in this.
Yeah.
Like out of, because nostalgia does not make a good game. Nostalgia makes a memorable game, but not a good game.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from on this list.
So, Bugman, how do you? Because now I'm swayed to Game Boy. I really am.
Over
DS.
DS. Oh. Yeah.
Well,
I can agree. I can agree just because, if we're counting out nostalgia, which is obviously a huge part because that's what we were all born into.
I mean, just like what
If we're counting it out, then
what are the Game Boy games that you want to play or that you remember fondly? Like
we're too young for this.
just,
like Pokemon.
Dude, Pokemon Red and Blue, that holds such a high
really
regard.
amazing.
They're more than amazing. You shut your mouth.
But that's it. Like
They're brilliant.
these other consoles have a lot more to play.
Words cannot describe.
Pokemon Pinball.
Oh,
That
Solid
was
choice.
a-
Solid choice.
What? That game was so good.
That was the
No,
best.
it's not.
I think that was the best Nintendo pinball spinoff because they had a Mario one and a Metroid one, and
You had the Rumble Pack in there too. Oh my
the
goodness.
Pokemon ones were the best pinball spinoffs.
Oh,
I actually preferred Sonic Pinball. I mean, I know that wasn't Nintendo, but I actually didn't mind Sonic Pinball at all. I really didn't.
I like Pokemon.
It was horrible. I mean, most people do. I think the reason why is because I actually owned Sonic Pinball and I never owned Pokemon Pinball.
The thing that turned me off to Sonic Spinball was that the main Sonic games, the main Sonic games, the music was amazing, and Spinball's music was garbage. I was like, get out of here. But
Play it on mute, dude.
right.
All right, so we're playing Game Boy there. By the way, for the record, we can once the list is before the list is made official, we can do any arguments. Any position.
Just get like a base structure, and then have some final arguments.
So we have Wii knocked off and Game Boy. So what's next?
So we're at number 8. 8. That's right. Sorry.
I think I know what Luke's gonna say here, but I want to hear you say it.
I personally would say NES. Now, so what I'm thinking about for this spot is NES, 3DS, and Wii U. So NES is the reason that video gaming is what it is today. We would not have an industry without the NES. But in terms of what I want to play, it's the Mario games pretty much. Like Metroid 1 does not hold the test of time. Zelda 1 does not hold the test of time. Like the SNES variations of those are some of the best games ever made. I feel like the NES started these amazing ideas, but Super Nintendo like perfected them and made them into a format that really holds up 20 years later, and you don't have to get past janky controls or this and that. So I think judging against that kind of stuff, NES, I want to play the Mario games, and I mean, what do you want to play? Final Fantasy 1 or Final Fantasy 6 on SNES? But that's just me.
Agree.
And then the 3DS and Wii U, I really like both these consoles. It's just they don't have the same output as like the 3DS is great, but I think the DS has an amazing output with a lot of the same type of games. Wii U is the epitome of the lesser known. It's sold like crap. Doesn't have a big library, but it has a couple of really great gems. So those are my thoughts.
Bugman, or do you want me to go?
I mean, I can't really argue it. I see.
Well, he gave 3 there. So which one would you give it to? Just the one?
It's so Yeah, I'm thinking NES as well, and it's hard to say it.
Yeah,
because that foundation. But I mean, he's right. It just didn't. There wasn't much follow through, carry on with it.
I'm just looking at this as the list of the best consoles. Like Mario 1, Mario 3 are amazing. I love those games. And Tetris for the Game Boy 1. I love Tetris. But as the overall library, I don't think these compare today compared to some of these other consoles.
Right.
I agree with the NES, but my biggest issue with the NES, and sadly this brings in a little bit of nostalgia, is that I just feel like deep down I feel like it just doesn't go here. And if we're moving, and in my mind, if in my list we're moving DS from 9 out of 9 for the Game Boy, I think that DS should then go in 8. I was not a big fan of the DS. I'm not.
You like the 3DS better than the DS?
Yes, by far. I got rid of my DS pretty early. I think I can't even remember the last game I got rid of. I got for that game. Now, Tom, I don't like the 3DS for the 3D portion of it.
Right.
I just feel like
no.
No
games effectively use the 3D, but it has a great game library.
Exactly. That's honestly, I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for this, but out of the handheld category, 3DS is my favorite by far.
Yeah. Animal Crossing.
Exactly.
Dude, did you guys play Game Boy Advance though? Game Boy Advance is amazing.
Honestly, I'm leaning more towards Game Boy Advance in this spot.
No way. We can put DS there because now that I'm thinking about it.
See, I would say that I would pick. I'd pick DS over Game Boy Advance in this spot, but I'm willing to do either or. Like, I'm not arguing.
I'm thinking about it.
I don't know. I just feel like NES, mainly because if I put points for like games that meant a lot to me, I know that puts in a little bit of nostalgia, but I'm saying like,
and nostalgia is something you can't entirely get away from.
Exactly. You know? Mario 3 is hands down one of my favorite games of all time. As stupid as it is, Track and Field is hands down one of my like most memorable games of all time. I know that it's stupid, but I actually have a story with that, but it's not important. Anyways, Track and Field, pretty awesome. Back to the point. All the Mega Mans from that generation were off the chain. Love Mega Man.
Yes, actually, the NES Mega Man games were the best of the entire series. So that is something to think about.
Yes.
Okay.
And wait, I'm not finished yet. Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, like those. Not a lot of people like Zelda 2. I know that, or Link 2, whatever. But it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just not bad.
It's just, the thing. It's like anytime I play those, I'm like, man, at least jump up to Link to the Past because it just does everything so much more right. Okay, I've been thinking just now in these last couple of minutes.
We're not arguing. We're not arguing Zeldas here right now. We're arguing consoles.
Yep. Okay. DS. The DS has a huge library of great games. But the reason I love it so much is because they're small, quirky, weird games. They're like visual novel kind of stuff. You know, like I said, Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright and Hotel Dusk. These are games where you're reading a lot and solving puzzles, and it's not like big defining games. But I feel like that overall experience defined the DS for me. And actually, the 3DS has a lot of those same things, but I feel like they do them better because both have a lot of great RPGs. Both have a ton of great RPGs. But I think 3DS.
Bravely Default?
Yeah, Bravely Default's amazing and Bravely Second. Persona Q on the 3DS. I just need to look over my shelf and see all this great shit that's there. Actually, oh man, they both have so many great RPGs. Oh, I love them both.
I feel like because you just said that now, it's voided. If you can't remember, if you have to look at your shelf.
The Radiant Historia, the Chrono Trigger remake. They got all these Final Fantasy remakes. And Final Fantasy 4 Heroes of Light, which Bravely Default was based on. Also, DS had Final Fantasy Tactics A2. Oh my god, Final Fantasy Tactics, amazing. But shit, man, dude.
Okay,
I personally love the DS, but if we got to put that below NES, I can compromise that. Just because of how important the NES was.
So right now we're gonna say 8 is DS.
And you guys want to put? You guys would put Game Boy Advance above. What would you put Game Boy Advance above 3DS or no?
Above 3DS?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think I could.
Because honestly, it's see the issue in. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this, but my reasoning behind it is that I feel like to me the Game Boy Advance had a really long lifespan. I could be wrong about
No, it
this,
didn't.
like to other people. See, I
5
feel like
years.
it did. Exactly.
But it had
See,
so
I
much
feel-
great stuff in those 5 years.
See, the reason, but my thing is like, I guess the 5 years that it was out was like a prominent portion of my life at that time. Like, just for you and I guess.
Yeah, GBA
Like
and DS were huge for me because the games were cheaper and it was like, easier to accumulate
we
them.
didn't pay for them ourselves. It was really still our parents. So
Well, I mean,
we
it's
didn't have
easier to
work.
convince your parents to buy, something for $20 or whatever. But it's like that was like a
So,
10-year
but the-
period where I played Nintendo handhelds a ton from the GBA launch to
No.
the end of the DS life.
I remember going to your house and playing the GBA for the first time ever, and it blew my mind. I think it was even like Rayman.
Yeah, Rayman was the
think
first
you
game I got.
Yeah, I think it was Rayman. Holy crap! I'm surprised I remember that. Anyways, though, that's not the point. Point is that, but because just with that, like I just am. To me, there was not a lot of. I just don't remember it a lot. As much like
Well, should we put GBA in this spot then? Because I think the progression is kind of the same. Like GBA, DS, 3DS, they have a lot of great platformers, a lot of great RPGs, puzzle games, and I think they kind of just evolved over time. I don't think 3DS has quite the breadth and of those kinds of titles as like DS does.
I mean,
I don't know. I love them all. I don't want them to be this low, but that's me.
I mean, somebody's got to go here, Luke.
Okay.
Somebody.
Should we do GBA or DS?
Well, so NES is out.
That's what I would put, but it's not. That doesn't sound good.
The problem is that I didn't, in my list, my personal list, I didn't include any handhelds. Like, I didn't have any handhelds. So the handhelds are a new portion for me. So, like, I'm just arguing for the sake of arguing. That's my problem. Like, you're saying all this stuff about the DS, and I want to argue against you, but I don't know enough because I didn't do my research. So
That sounds like a personal problem. I mean,
it is a personal problem.
I
Because
mean-
I'm trying to argue something I don't know anything about right now.
oh man.
So, Bugman, what do you think?
Where to put? It's just it's hard to differentiate handhelds. Like I'm trying to, and it's super hard.
I think the real reason is because they release the same stuff over and over again. It's like the
It's
same.
true. They all carry over. Every Pokemon,
exactly.
they just kept
All the
going up.
Pokemon, I mean,
Animal Crossing kept going up.
They even had the NES classics on the Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had Castlevania, in case anybody's wondering.
But the
was all right.
Castlevania GBA games were so much better. Aria of Sorrow. Oh
I mean,
my God.
I'll take your word for it.
I love them.
But guys, somebody's got Nate. Something.
I'm
has
okay.
to-
I'm okay putting DS there.
Bugman.
In terms
Yeah, I can feel that.
And once again, we're not saying that they're absolute garbage. We're just saying that it's 8 and Nintendo, which honestly is not that bad. To be a Nintendo console and you're the 8th, that's not that bad. You're not 10th or
I still love
11th
it.
if you're the Virtual Boy.
Oh God! Don't say it out loud.
Okay, so now we're moving on to 7. And I have to get rid of DS. Alright, so 7. I'm willing to say NES here.
Yeah, I think it. We bumped it up. We bought it enough time, but
We
Yeah.
bought it one spot.
I mean, yeah.
We can only do so much. Poor Nintendo.
I think 7 is. It's not like the bottom. You're not putting the NES at the bottom of the list. It's in the middle of the list. That's fair.
Right.
Semi-middle. Right? Bottom middle.
I'm fine with it.
Let's do it.
Anyway, like this. All right, it's locked in. Screw it. It's done. Can't change it now. Actually, you can later, but not now. 6.
During the
Fight
closing.
about it.
Yeah, the closing final fight. All right, number 6.
6.
Buckman, do you have anything here? Because you're the only one that hasn't said like definitively this is what I think should go here.
Okay, so I don't have a list in front of me. What do we have so far? Okay, what's 10? 9
10 is
Wii.
Wii. 9 is Game Boy. 8 is DS. 7 is NES. 6 is whatever you want it to be right now.
And what we still have left is Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, and 3DS.
And Wii U.
Oh yeah, Wii U.
I feel like ooh, that could. I feel like it's still between another. Oh, these handhelds are so hard to throw around.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Either the handhelds are maybe Wii U, which is tough to say. Wii U,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I love the Wii U, but in the grand scheme of things,
Well, so is that what you're saying? Because I don't want to intrude.
The Wii U's so I hate to say it's so cool, but it's so cool, man. I think it's cool.
Put Wii U here. I can't put Wii U here. I can't. I can't. I can't let that happen.
okay. So then
It is honestly right now. It's up there with one of my favorite consoles of this generation. There's so many good games that are so underappreciated. It's not even funny. But that's not important.
To me, it feels so cool to play. Like, if you've got garbage eyeballs, you can just look at the tablet. Like, I think it's awesome. Like,
and it's just amazing to see see Mario in 1080p and see like the fucking ruffles in his mustache and like the hair on the cat suit in 3D World. It's just amazing.
The ruffles in his mustache. All right, so
I don't
if
want
nobody's gonna say
Wii U to be in 60.
I'm taking nostalgia out of it. I'm willing to say N64.
Whoa!
what the hell?
No.
Take a seat.
That's hard. I wasn't trying to go this hard this early.
Just because
I can't see N64 there either.
And that's not even breaking nostalgia. You're talking about Banjo-Kazooie. You're talking about all these Mario. Like, no way, man. There's just no way.
Now, I feel like a lot of people, they hold the N64... Or go ahead.
Well, I think we're going to say the same thing. I feel like a lot of people just hold the N64 so high because it was with the 3D graphics. First with 3D graphics and so on and so forth.
And that's groundbreaking, and it's got fantastic games.
People have nostalgia goggles, but it's still a great console.
It is a great console, but I don't think it beats SNES. Don't think it. I mean, the only one that I can really see on this list that it really beats, on my list at least, Game Boy Advance. I don't think it beats GameCube. GameCube is honestly up there. Like, for me, it's definitely up there. I love the GameCube so much. I love that purple lunchbox. It's the best. Anyways, though, it doesn't beat GameCube. 3DS, it's pretty close for me. I really don't think it beats Wii U.
You don't think the N64 beats Wii U?
It's hard for me.
And this is mind-blowing for me. I thought we were going to get to the 64 and just, like, get out our shrines and, start chowing down.
As much, I will say this. I am mainly saying this to put a huge argument in this. But
Don't say that.
You're starting it. You're definitely starting it.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to start it. It's working very well. But I don't see it going. I don't. In my personal list, it does not go much higher. I'm not saying.
Oh God.
It doesn't go in the sixth place, but I'm saying that it doesn't go much higher. So I'm wanting to see what your guys' argument is against it, and what you think should go in this place instead.
Me, 64 is like top 3, man.
I mean, if it's fine, then argue it. If that's what you want,
it's
argue
higher
it.
than 6.
So then what?
I don't think it's not. I don't think it's the best, and people do have too much nostalgia for it, but it's better than this. I think 6 should be, honestly, it should be GBA or 3DS.
Yeah, it's going to go back to handheld.
Also, GBA is actually what's in my 6th. Well, I mean, if there was handheld consoles, it would be in my 6th place.
GBA it is?
Yeah. I like the 3DS.
So
I love it.
We're admitting 3DS is better than GBA, is the consensus.
I'm willing to say it.
For me, yes.
That's I could go both ways, but They're both so
3DS,
good.
That's such a good library. Especially with, I mean, another thing to even think about with 3DS. This is bad, but they're even coming out with Mario Maker too. Like,
Yeah.
2 isn't so like that boosts it. It doesn't even. It can be 50% of the Wii U game, and it's still going to be amazing. Like in my mind.
Okay, let's break this down. GB8. Let's start this easier. 3DS. What are the great games? What are the amazing 3DS games that put it so high? That would put it above GBA?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
And
Oh,
Bravely
crap.
Default. I mean, I spent hours on Bravely Default. Like a lot.
Fire Emblem.
oh yeah, Fire Emblem is
Oh.
amazing. Both of those.
See, the problem is I'm trying to think of like like great games, and that's where I'm having the issue.
Well, okay. Mario 3D Land was really good. Actually, it had
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one.
2 Zelda remakes that were great, and A Link Between Worlds. A Link Between Worlds is actually probably my favorite 3DS game. That game's amazing.
Actually, yeah. Yeah.
That's what else?
I mean, and they're bringing with the virtual console. I know that brings nostalgia to a point into it, but it is making it handheld accessible for that stuff.
Well,
Like,
are we just basing it just on games?
Oh yeah, we are. God dang it!
Because
you.
if you count Virtual Console, Wii U is the best because you have the biggest library of games in.
Right, that's true.
But
Okay, well, take that out of it. I mean, as much as nobody's gonna like it, the Mario Party on that game on the 3DS, I can't even remember what it was called, but that one, I love that one.
good Pokemon games, revival of the Pokemon franchise. I thought that brought it.
I really do think that it revived it. Like X and Y was.
Well, yeah, when it went to 3D, that was just huge for people.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that it finally revived Dragon Quest VII and that release in the US is amazing.
That too.
Shin Megami Tensei 4 was great. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse just came out, which I haven't.
You're looking at your library. You're cheating. I can't do that.
see it. I can't see it. Well, I got a row full of 3DS games, and I'm trying to read which ones
You
are.
can't see that, but you're staring at it. Shut up.
I'm just trying to think.
You can do
Okay,
more
so,
than me.
so that's a lot. That's a lot of great 3DS games that are current, so they hold up now to what we're looking at.
Exactly.
But at the same token, we do have to take a step back from recent releases and give them fair time to be judged. But
Right.
So Game Boy Advance, what were your guys' favorite Game Boy Advance games?
Pokemon.
Dude, Pokemon's at the top of my list for like every handheld generation. You know what? Even N64, it's even up there for that one. So
Well,
it's hard to beat Pokemon.
I think the GBA has a great library. Granted, a lot of it is remakes. Like all the Mario games were remakes.
Exactly.
There was no exclusive Mario game. It had a Link to the Past, but it did have Minish Cap, which was dope.
Yeah, Minish Cap was amazing.
All the best like Final Fantasy games were all remakes. It wasn't really. Actually, when it comes to exclusive RPGs, GBA exclusive, that list is probably dwindling a little bit down. It's mostly remakes.
Yeah, there's really not a lot.
The best. I love the 2D Metroids and the 2D Castlevanias that were Castlevania or Metroidvania style.
Yeah,
That
fusions.
yeah, but that's like my favorite genre. Like my favorite single type of game is Metroidvanias, so that's why I dig it so much. But that's like 5 really solid 2D platformers. So really, at the end of the day,
Didn't they remake a lot of? Well, they didn't remake them, but I know that there was a lot of pretty good Sonic games on the GBA too.
those were exclusive. Yeah,
Like-
the Sonic Advances.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those were
2D
new
the
original
2D
games.
ones?
Those were dope.
Yeah, before like freaking Chaos Emerald or whatever it was, Chaos whatever.
Yeah, those were some of the last bastions of the Sonic series. The advanced ones,
Or it's
and then there's a couple
For
great
when-
ones on Sonic Rush on DS was great, and since then, Sonic's gone way downhill.
yeah, now it's just bad.
Okay,
That's why I'm saying 6 is GBA for me.
yeah,
Yep.
All right,
I will not argue that.
let's lock that in.
so now 5.
I think
This is where it's gonna get.
Yeah, this is where it's gonna start getting tough. It honestly, you're going from 1 to 5 on this one.
Yeah, the top half of the list probably gonna get a little bit of hairy.
God,
Especially
because everybody's gunning for the 64. I'm gonna lose it.
I'm not gunning. Fine. Okay, 5. I'm willing to say,
Wii U?
dude, I don't know.
Because we got the GameCube, Wii U,
I was gonna
SNES.
Super
say,
Nintendo,
64 and GameCube.
I was gonna say SNES.
64 GameCube.
No.
I knew that would be a hard sell. It really would be, and it would be even a hard sell for me. But I honestly, looking at what's left, I would say 3DS.
Yeah.
I'm willing to just.
Oh, that's right. 3DS is still
I'm willing to get the handhelds out of the way. I'm done with them.
Yes, please, because it's
It's bucking up my list a lot, but it's so good.
Which I
So
personally
3DS
don't. Yeah, I don't want to put 3DS above Wii U. I think
I don't want to do that either.
yeah.
Okay, 3DS.
That wasn't so hairy after all. All right, now we get hairy. Now we get hairy.
Oh, we getting into weeds now.
All right, so we have SNES, N64, GameCube, and Wii U left.
Woo. Wii U?
So I will say this: 4 is where I had the N64.
You're terrible.
That's
person.
tough. That's tough, man. Because let's break it down. We've been dancing around the 64. Let's break it down. Mario 64, one of the best games of all time. Still to this day. Mario Kart 64 is amazing, and that's one of the games that everybody loves, everybody plays still.
I agree.
I love it, but I think there's better Mario Kart games. That's my opinion.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
I mean, come on.
Defined FPS on console.
Yep.
And then we have Smash.
Smash,
well.
which that's the other one that people still love to this day. But I always got to say Melee's so much better.
Melee's better, but I'm just counting great games. Like these are games where it's hard to really find a flaw. Really,
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, underrated classic. And fucking Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I think the fact that it's got Ocarina and Majora's Mask, you can't put it
exactly. We roped him into it. He can't do it now.
Because what does Wii U have? Wii U's got 2 remakes of Zelda.
Hold on, I'm not finished.
Okay.
We still have Donkey Kong 64.
Diddy Kong Racing. I love Diddy Kong Racing, man.
Diddy Kong Racing. Honestly, Diddy Kong. I just played that the other day too. That's the sad part.
I had a big. Like 4 people came over before I left Georgia, and we played that.
It's actually awesome. You still have Banjo-Kazooie, like you say.
Conquer.
I forgot about.
It's like the big 5 of like those open world collectathon platforming games.
Yeah.
Perfect Dark, the second grandfather of
futuristic GoldenEye. I remember I wrote my parents into buying me Perfect Dark, and then they're like, it's rated M, and I'm like, no, it's fine. And then they watched me play it, and they're like, there's blood, and then they threw it away.
They threw it away?
Or they like took it away, or I don't know what they did with it.
God dang it,
Star Fox.
So you just can't do it. There's just way too many ridiculous games for this console. There's no way.
All right, so then where are we putting in 4?
Such a top tier console. Oh my god.
So you're saying Wii U, Luke, right?
Yeah, at this point I gotta say Wii U.
Yeah, I put it there too because these next up are just way too good.
The remaining ones are the Triforce of timeless classics that made Nintendo into something that people love. Wii U is great, but it's not in that echelon.
It's not in the Triforce.
It's not even near the tier of these.
It's in 4, guys. It's in 4. I didn't
Banjo-Kazooie, man. It's like one of my favorite games of all time.
3 then.
Oh boy.
Now, honestly, would it be easier going 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, and 1.
We better just keep doing 3, 2, 1, man. I don't know.
I know what I want. 3, 2, 1.
Either way, it's gonna get hairy.
Right. We might as well just keep going. Keep the train moving.
All right.
I know what you're gonna say, Dakota. And I'm not gonna like it.
And you know what's funny? Because
what do you think I'm gonna say?
You know what I think you're gonna say.
I know what I know what I'm gonna say, but what do you think I'm gonna say?
You know what's funny about this? I think the last 3 remaining. I think each of us have one of the different 3 locked in our heart right now for the top console.
Yep.
Do you think so?
He's Super Nintendo. Your Game Boy, your GameCube. Sorry.
Me?
And 64 is like.
Yep.
Just my baby, man.
That's about how it shakes out. That's about how the cookie crumbles right now.
Yep.
What's yours?
Super Nintendo has to be number 1.
See, there it is. I told you, bro. And
there's no better console. There's no better console in like the history of the universe than the Super Nintendo.
Oh boy,
dude, this is gonna be way too different. The
Super Nintendo. Here's what it is about the Super Nintendo. It had amazing Nintendo games, but it was also the top game of its generation. Third-party support, multiplayer support, sports games, fighting games. It had everything, and ever since then, Nintendo consoles have not had everything. They've had great Nintendo games, and that's it. And then they're great. But it's like, what if, to put it in our perspective now, think about it if Nintendo made the Xbox 360, and it was as successful as that. It was powerful. It was pushing, technology at the time. Multiplayer, sports games.
It lost to the Wii.
No, the Super Nintendo was the Xbox 360 of its time, but it had amazing Nintendo games too. Like that's what it was back then. Like it had everything. It was the top.
I feel like your argument's bad because it didn't win.
What won? What won the 16-bit console war?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're saying that what if it was the Xbox 360, but the Xbox 360 didn't win?
Okay. This is a different conversation, but we technically won sales numbers, but in terms of gamers, in terms of actual gamers, the 360 was the biggest console.
I agree with you 100%.
So put it into that perspective.
I still, dude, the GameCube though.
The thing is for me is the Super Nintendo was the Nintendo console that I came into contact originally, and that defined what I wanted Nintendo to be. Since then, Nintendo has not been that Nintendo. They've been making stupid, gimmicky decisions that alienate people, and they've never been the Super Nintendo that way since then.
But how much of what you are saying is nostalgia and not great games?
You want to talk great games? You want to talk great games? Let's get going.
Hold up. But think about it, my reasoning for the GameCube is because it's the first time that it had so much of a competition and it still put out amazing games. Still, I'm like, tonight, I am re-hooking up my GameCube just to play it. Tonight. I mean, that means a lot to me. A lot. And it still competed with the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. Which, think about it. It's like the PlayStation 2 knocked out the Dreamcast. And it still survived, and it's still, in my opinion, it is still, honestly, with lasting power, I still say that GameCube could be, I don't know, it's between the game and PlayStation 2, but it still has a lot of lasting power. PlayStation 2 and GameCube from that generation have a lot of lasting power, but I feel like because of great games with Wind Waker, with freaking Twin Snakes, with Metroid Prime even, like RE4, for crying out loud, RE4 was hands down my favorite game of all time for a large portion of my life. It's still up there in top 5 of favorite games of all time. Like, that's the hard one to sell for me. And then you still have Super Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2. Well,
those are fun games.
Dude, they're amazing. You still have the freaking Mario parties, which honestly, that's whenever they were going downhill, but they're still great games. 4 was amazing. Like, I'm not saying that. I will say this. It does not have as many great games, but the games that are great on it are so far superior to other games. It's not funny. And you know what? Honestly, the games still don't look bad. I mean, SNES, they still don't look bad, but really that was more of a jab to the N64.
Yeah, N64, they look bad now.
Yeah, they look freaking...
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
The thing with GameCube, is it really soured me on Nintendo because from like 2003 till the end of the console, yeah, there were still some great games coming out, but they were so far in between. And I only had a GameCube, so it's like you had one game worth buying every 6 months. Which now, when we look back at it, it's like a 2-year period condensed into like 5 great games. You think, oh, it's 5 great games, but at the time, it sucked to be a Nintendo fan.
I agree. We're not talking about at the time. We're talking about right now.
It just still leaves a sour taste in my mouth, or maybe it's just this beer I'm drinking.
Are we talking about back? Or are we talking about right now?
I was the one that was saying we're looking at it from what is the best console? That's the most fair and objective way.
I mean, 3 is still good, Dakota. I think
Oh my god!
It's just gonna hurt my heart so much. This one's gonna hurt.
My top 3 is SNES, N64, GameCube,
and that's you're talking 3, 2, 1.
Oh
no! Wait, yeah, SNES 3.
See now, no, I don't like that. I like the. I thought
you like the reverse. So you're arguing against the GameCube. You think that should be 3?
Yes.
I think so too.
Because just
I mean, if it's 3, if it's 2 against 1, I mean, I have to.
It's just the 64 had so many grandpas, man.
I'll admit that. That's the only reason why I put it as 2. Because 64, my problem is like it doesn't have the lasting power. The games look like crap now. There's not many games that I really still want to play on it, honestly. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if that's because I can find better versions of them elsewhere, or if that's because you get what I mean. Like I don't know if I just rehooked my 64 up to play GoldenEye, and Pokemon Snap, and Stadium. But once I hooked that up, I was like, you know what? I would much rather play this on other consoles that do it better, like Virtual Console or, GoldenEye. Really, there's nothing you can do for that. But that's my thing. I would just rather have played it on another console. But the games are great. So if we're going from game standpoint. I don't know. I don't know.
Or should we put N64 at 3?
Oh, I like it.
It's not. What? Yeah, it didn't look that great, but look at the time it brought out all this 3D. Of course, it wasn't gonna be perfect.
It really didn't have much to compete with. That's the other thing. Like, I don't know. I feel like. That's my thing. GameCube had a lot to compete with. It may have been the poorest one. Like, it may have came in last in its generation and all this other stuff, but it did so well with lasting power. I still want to play it. Still.
And that was 5 years in the future. It's like,
Wait, which part was 5 years in the future?
Like, look at all the steps you could take with 5 extra years. Of course, it's not going to look fantastic and do all this, that, and the other thing.
I'm not too hung up on the N64's graphics. I think the graphics don't hold up as good as some other things, but like, I don't know. I feel like in general, there's a lot of games that had a big wow factor back then that has, once you take that away, it's really not that great of a game.
Yeah, that's really my issue. Like Smash is
Melee is so
a
much
great
better than
game
one.
for its time. Yeah, they still play Melee in competition.
And it was built on top of 1, though. What if 1 never existed, man?
God. You can't make that argument because it did exist. It doesn't matter. It did exist. It's done. It's in the past. It's done. It happened. I feel like that's not valid. That's like saying, well, then what if the NES never existed?
Then we got to put NES at number 1 then.
Yeah, if you did that.
Which we don't need to come up with all these rules, but I'm just saying, like from a philosophical standpoint.
Oh no, this is just making a list and checking it twice.
This is impossible.
And we're being really naughty, not nice.
Okay. I will say this. After arguing with you guys, I will concede to say that I really do not see the GameCube as being number one. I want it to be, but I can understand why it should not be number one. It didn't win its generation. It may have lasting power, but that's really the biggest thing it has going for it, honestly. And I can 100% concede to that. Therefore, I am willing to not put it number one. I don't know about number 3. You can probably convince me to put it 3, but because 3 in a Nintendo console list is still pretty freaking amazing. So I'm willing to put it lower. You guys need to convince me otherwise. But then what is going 2 and 1? Or 1 and 3, or vice versa, whatever.
I mean, 1, I'll give it. I mean, I can agree with old Luke and his decision.
Yeah,
because we all know his decision. I can come to terms with that.
See, the thing is the Super Nintendo. Okay, N64, in my opinion.
I love the way Bugman is just like, you know what? I'll just give it over, and Luke's like, okay, I'm taking advantage of this. This is what I
got. Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask are 10 out of 10 timeless classics. But I don't think N64 has a lot of great 8s. But I think the GameCube has a greater amount of 9s. If you see what I'm saying. So overall.
Yeah, you're saying there's a lot of really good games and a lot of really crappy games. There's none in the middle. GameCube has a lot of really good in the middle, but not.
But it doesn't have the best
games.
in the franchises. Like Mario 64 is better than Sunshine. I think Ocarina is better than Wind Waker.
Yep.
Stuff like that. But I think
what about Luigi's Mansion?
It's a good game, but it's not like. Honestly, the Monkey Ball games are amazing. I love those. That's a legitimate part of the conversation of why GameCube is so great. But when you think about the Super Nintendo, it's got the best Mario game, Mario World, the best Metroid game, Super Metroid, also the best game ever made, the best Zelda game.
I also don't agree.
You got Yoshi's Island. You got...
I love Yoshi's Island, man.
Yeah, I love
Tetris
that.
Attack. You got...
I don't care.
Final Fantasy 4 through 6. You got Chrono Trigger. You got Super Mario RPG.
I agree.
You've got...
I don't.
I didn't say anything. Street Fighters, Mortal Kombat, the fighting games that were big at the time. You know.
Wait, but did the Mortal Kombat have blood?
Yeah,
were those the ones? Did they start bringing in blood?
Didn't have blood on SNES. After that, they had blood.
Yeah. See, I don't agree. Next. Sega was better.
No. In no way was the Genesis better than the Super Nintendo.
No, I'm saying for Mortal Kombat, Genesis was better.
For the first one, and 2 is obviously the best Mortal Kombat.
Hey, let's not hurt Genesis's feelings too much.
Dude, I love this.
It's number
we
one
can
in
hurt
my
those
heart.
feelings later.
Yeah,
I love the Genesis.
Genesis was my baby, man.
That's really my biggest issue with putting Super Nintendo here is because I had a Genesis. I had a Super Nintendo, but I had a Genesis first.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that's our biggest issue.
Poor children.
Poor children. I eventually
as children,
had
that was very unfortunate that you didn't get to experience the greatest console of all time. But first.
Oh wait, time out. Now we're making a whole nother list.
Okay, we don't have to get into that. We don't have to get into that.
All right, let's just leave the Genesis alone before everyone gets enraged and starts breaking things in their own respective houses.
We don't need 2 to 3 states worth of broken things across the nation right now.
2 to 3 states.
Okay. Are you guys both in the same state?
Yes.
Okay, so
we work at the same place. What do you expect?
So this state's going to be real busted.
I mean, we could, but that'd be extremely inefficient.
Okay, but...
not that far.
3.
So...
my vote's...
So... Yeah, Luke, what's your vote?
And... Well, actually, I kind of want to say GameCube because then it might be a 2 to 3 or 2 to 1 out of 3.
2 to 1 out of 3. What? What the heck are you saying?
I'll give you money.
Okay. There's no bribing. Our official list has been compromised. Now that
No.
I'm just playing the game.
There's been a ton of points flying here and there now, so it's almost time.
GameCube at 3. GameCube
this is
at
my
3.
thing. You say 3? God dang! I thought I could convince you. I really did.
But yeah, it does have Prime and RE4.
Yeah, RE4, dude. RE4. Like, just think about that. Think about how much.
Honestly,
Banjo-Kazooie, Resident Evil 2. Ooh.
Okay.
Think about Twin Snakes too.
Pokemon Snap, one of a kind.
Okay, you guys fight it out because it's tough for me to decide between GameCube and N64 2 and 3 for me.
Lasting power. Which one are you gonna? Which one?
Rogue Squadron. Oh man, what a good game that was.
You know, to be honest, I'm playing Prime 2 right now, which is on the it's on the Wii U, but it's okay. But that's the thing is like I'm playing Prime 2.
See, you can't. Yeah,
exactly. But Prime, just think of all the Prime games.
Now you're going backwards. You said we could do the foundations, man.
I still love Prime 1 and 2.
No, we're not doing. Yeah, he's still gonna love Prime 1 and 2, especially Prime 1. Especially Prime 1, dude. Like I'm even willing to say it's the best console of that generation. And with
man,
that's the
Pokemon Stadium, dude. Come on now.
Pokemon Stadium is amazing. It really is. But you have Pokemon games in the GameCube. They're not as good.
Okay, I'm voting N64.
I mean, you're taking from Donkey Kong. You're
voting N64 for 3.
That's my vote.
That's my vote.
Oh my god, fuck it.
Are we locking that in?
Guess no one likes.
Bugman, now this is where you try to convince me to say
no one likes. Yeah. No one. I guess he doesn't like Star Fox. I thought
That's one of the games I thought that had a wow factor but doesn't hold up. In my opinion,
Fox die over here doesn't.
Okay. I mean, you got it on the Wii U now with Star Fox Zero. It's essentially
no.
Oh God. I'm
just saying, it's essentially a remake. It really is. So what?
You didn't like Majora's Mask either. Weird.
Majora's Mask is amazing.
I prefer Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time. Believe it or not. That's me.
This is a different conversation, but
I like the darker factor. That's my only reasoning.
When it comes to straight gameplay and amount of gameplay and amount of dungeons, Ocarina beats it. But Majora had a heart, and like the story and the characters and the heart to it were unparalleled. Like it was so creepy in a subtle way, and it just had me so uncomfortable. But I fell in love with the kid, or not the kid, but the shorter guy that was trying to find his long lost lover and stuff. Like, holy crap, that was so ahead of its time and like way more mature than you gave it credit for. But yeah,
I preferred Majora's Mask only because it was darker. It was kind of like this is a really bad analogy, but it's like whenever you watch a movie and you see the kid getting beat up all the time and you actually care about the kid. Like by the end of the movie, I like that because like everybody beats up in Majora's Mask because it was just like, yeah, you're just the redhead stepchild of Ocarina of Time. Like, get out of here, and because of that, it made me appreciate it more. Also,
it just sucks that there's only 4 dungeons. That's the worst part, but it's still so good.
It is, but I feel like it does a really good job with being a filler. Like the overworld being a filler.
Yeah, like all those side quests is like a whole other half of the game.
And I really do think that at the time it, in a way, it kind of like made side quests really good in games. Like that was the original
that's one of the best games to do side quests.
God dang it. I just argued against myself.
Yeah, just let you do that.
But I don't think it makes it better than... I don't think it makes the N64 better than the GameCube.
Dude, honestly...
Still amazing, though.
You know what? So Luke, you're saying N64 GameCube.
Yeah.
SNES. Bugman, you're saying GameCube, SNES... I'm N64?
No, I'm saying 64 second.
right?
SNES rules the world.
Yes.
Wait, time out. What?
Yeah, now we're talking.
When did this happen? So you're saying SNES number 1?
Yes.
It's the obvious choice.
Okay, so now that's okay. So SNES. Well, now it's official. So GameCube's. So we're just arguing between GameCube and N64, 2 and 3.
I thought that's what we were doing for the last 15, 20 minutes.
Is that because I was putting SNES as 2, but that's I can concede that. That's fine. I don't care. That's fine. All right. So what?
Are we locking that in? Because I think it's time to lock that in.
Locked in.
All right.
Yeah, it's locked in. So we now have. So Luke, you're saying GameCube 2.
Number 2.
I'm saying GameCube 2. Buttman, you're saying 3. So this is really hard. I guess GameCube 2. What?
Because, Prime 1 for 2 years is my favorite game of all time. Then Resident Evil 4 for probably 3 years is then my favorite game of all time. Both on that console.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Screw it. We're putting GameCube in as 2. Only because I am sick of everybody putting GameCube so low on their list whenever other companies do this crap.
Yeah, this is a wild card spot.
We're going to be original, and we're going to be like, you know what? GameCube is not as bad as everybody thinks it is, because we all agree that it at least goes in the top 3. All 3 of us, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know what? Screw it.
That's fine. I'll let the comments deal with you, Dakota.
Oh, man, we're going to get torn.
Why?
N64 will rise again, then.
I'll have 2 comments. Well,
I feel like a lot of people in their hearts, across America, the N64 is most people's number 1 Nintendo console. That's
I do think so too, but I don't think that they're looking at it from I don't think that, if we're looking at it from games, just I don't know,
games.
If we're looking at it from straight games, you're right. 64.
Yeah. Yes, I hate you so much.
You just said yes. Look at that.
Wait, Dakota, what are you drinking tonight?
Me, pumpkin ale from Ale Works from Williamsburg, Virginia.
I just had that. I had that.
How many pumpkin beers are you guys going to drink?
Okay, so let me tell you this. I have a wife, and she decided to surprise me with pumpkin ale. Little did she know I've been drinking pumpkin ale for the last 3 weeks.
And that's not bad.
Well, that's still very thoughtful of her.
Because October is the greatest of all time.
December's better, but all right.
Okay. Which one comes first, dude?
Now we're doing a countdown. So now we're going to do a countdown of best months. All right, ready? Go. Starting at 12. I'm going to say August.
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't really even give a shit.
August.
Start of school.
Yeah,
that's really the
September's super lame too, though, right?
No, I really like September because every year when you feel that first fall breeze, it just makes me want to put a hoodie on, see some leaves falling, take a walk, listen to some punk rock music. I feel every year when I feel that first fall breeze, and it always is in September.
Well, see, that's the issue with here. I felt it yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 80 degrees up till yesterday.
Oh, it was.
Dude, yesterday was so. But that's not important.
It was 47 degrees this morning.
All right, so we have August as 12, September as 11th.
What?
We're really.
What about February? What the fuck, February?
Actually,
fuck April.
We can't say that legally. We can't say that because it's Black History Month in February. So I feel like it's gonna be a little bit higher. I'm just saying. Also, Valentine's Day. So now we're gonna get. It actually is true.
Super great. All right, anyway, off of this. This is getting absurd. This is actually serious and it's absurd.
Okay.
It's the fact that we're ranking months now.
October's 1. All right, so.
So we've got.
Oh, yes, official. I forgot. Official. We have 10 is Wii. 9 is Game Boy. 10 is DS.
8 is DS.
7.
You just said 10 twice.
Yeah, you said 10 twice. 8 is DS.
All right, time out. Start over. 10 is Wii. 9 is Game Boy. We'll edit that out. 8 is DS. 7 is NES. 6 is Game Boy Advance. 5 is 3DS. 4 is Wii U. 3 is N64. 2 is GameCube. And 1 is SNES.
Man, that just GameCube being there just don't sound right. All right, that's fine.
I think it's a solid list.
This is not your list, Bugman. It's Z Targeting's list.
All right, man. All right.
That's the key.
I can come to terms with third for being made in the 90s. That's fine.
I hate you so much.
It's acceptable. It's acceptable.
Like I said, this is not your personal list. This is the list for Z Targeting. That's it.
Right,
That's it.
right.
So
okay. I can sleep with that.
Does anybody want to argue? Everything's open now. You can say freaking E to number 1 and SNES to 10.
I'm good with the list, personally.
Actually, I want to argue that. Weed number 1.
No,
I don't. It's freaking horrible. Anyways, though. All right.
Yeah, it's good.
SNES, that is. Is everybody willing to get like tattooed on them, or is it not that official?
I already got it, boys. Don't worry.
I'll come with mine. It won't look like that, but mine will be a 64 with Banjo-Kazooie popping up at the top. All right, enough of me.
All right, so if that's the official list, what are your guys' personal, maybe like top 5? I thought I always had my top 5 in mind.
Top 5 was probably going to be, because my list is in the other room, so I don't know. But one was Game Boy, 2 was N64.
But you had Game Boy at number 1 at one point?
I mean, GameCube.
Oh.
God dang it. I keep looking at Game Boy. I have it like written all over this list so much. Anyways, though, top 5 was, because I didn't have any handheld.
Oh, yeah.
1 was GameCube. 2 was N64. 3, I think I had Wii U. 4 was SNES, and 5 was NES. That's for mine. Obviously, like I said, without handhelds.
And Bugman, what about you?
64 is one for me. No, that's not it. It's not it. I gotta think. I didn't make my own personal list. 64 is definitely at the top. SNES 3. I really like the Wii U. I really like it. I know it gets a lot of rap from a lot of people, but I really liked it. GameCube had really good games. And then I think in 5 I would put a handheld. And for me it would be the Color, just because I remember living on that thing when I was a kid. So
Solid choices. See, I had to bring in the handhelds because for me, the GBA and DS are like just huge. And yes, it is a nostalgia factor, but since those were like probably my most played consoles during, or most played things during those periods of time, like I got exposed to their whole library. And there's like so many small, underappreciated games for both. So my personal list: SNES number 1, then actually DS, GBA, then GameCube and Wii U, and then N64 after that. Which I love the N64, but a lot of the stuff doesn't hold up over time. One thing I think it's awesome about all of our lists, you
were arguing that much for the N64, and it was 6 on your list.
Well, this is straight up me personally. Straight up me personally.
Right.
Because all I want to play
is before arguments.
Yeah, all I want to play is Mario 64 and the Zelda games, really. And it's like, DS, there's
not Donkey Kong 64?
Nah, man. There's too many bananas. There's
Diddy Kong Racing?
There's 10 different types of bananas in that game. That's way too many. It was just too much.
I agree with you 100%, but the fact that it took us so long to beat that freaking game.
And then the
thing is, like, yeah, like we both loved that game as kids, but it doesn't. I don't think it holds up.
It actually is really. It is really bad now. I'm playing it now on Virtual Console, and it's not the best.
See, that's something. It's just a lot of nostalgia, and I have a lot of great memories of it, but I don't want to play it now. But yeah, I mean, overall, you can't go wrong. Just buy them all, and they're all great. Or buy any of them, they're all great.
That's really an accurate statement. Buy them all. Increase their stock. Go Nintendo.
I have them all, and I need a case because they're taking up a lot of space on my TV stand. All the space, actually. So I get yelled at daily about it. So.
All the spaces are just Nintendo.
It's literally, it's my TV on top, and then just every console of all time on my TV stand.
I just unhook and then rehook. Actually, you need to invest in a Retron. I don't know if you got one, but you really need to invest.
No, I was going to get one.
See, I convinced my wife to shell out the money for it, so I didn't lose any money, and it saves a lot of space.
How does that work? Is that emulator based, or what is it?
Well, first of all, you call your wife, you tell her, hey, buy this. Oh, you mean how does the Retron work?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were wondering how to convince her. Anyways, no. Dude, I don't know. Let's get into technical stuff. I know that you can play every single game on any controller, and it's all connected through HDMI. So it looks pretty good for the graphics standpoint because it's HDMI. And then it also, like, if you don't like the NES controller, you can plug in a Sega controller and be on your way. The mapping on the controllers is not the best, but I mean, you look past that stuff.
Can you change that though?
Honestly, I've not tried, so I don't know for sure. Okay. I don't play it very often, but whenever I do, I'll check that out next time. It'll probably be a year from now, but I'll check it out.
You know, unfortunately,
Go ahead.
Unfortunately, my SNES, N64, GameCube, and Wii are all back at home with my parents. So I just have in terms of Nintendo consoles, I just have my Wii U. But like I said, like between that and
that's really all you need.
Yeah, with the Virtual Console, anything I want to play, I can get on that or 3DS or whatever. But
or either I have that, and whenever I was in Georgia, I had the Wii U, the Wii U, and the Wii. That way, I could play GameCube games as well. That's the only reason why I had the Wii. I got rid of the Wii shortly after that, and actually just straight out bought a GameCube. Another GameCube, my sixth one.
Did you get that one in Game Over?
I did, actually.
That's where I got my GameCube.
The problem was that I really wanted the Platinum one, and they didn't have it, so I had to stick with black, which is fine in its own right. But as long as I didn't get purple, I just didn't really want a purple one, or indigo as it's officially called. But yeah. Anyways, though. Are we done with this bonus, or are we continuing?
Well, I mean, that's about all that we want to talk about on this bonus long-form roundtable discussion ranking Nintendo
how long
consoles.
are we at?
Hour 18. It's not bad. It's
probably crap. But it's like a normal episode, so whatever. It's not that bad. Yeah. All right. I really do want to thank everybody for the views and stuff on the second video. We've gotten a lot of good stuff.
Way more than
it's been really good.
Yeah, more than I was expecting at this point. So thank you everyone that listens and has checked us out. So where can people find us? Follow at ZTargeting2016 on Twitter for all the general updates about what we're doing as a group or our gaming content on this avenue. And that's where you can find links to the Codec call whenever we record that and upload that. The main episodes will be going up every Monday as long as our schedule stays the same as it is now. And then hopefully we can get these bonus ones in here.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, every here
just
and
not.
there.
We don't want to lock into any scheduling on that. We just want to.
We gotta have a big topic that we can really dig into. Which I've got a few of those in mind, but we'll get to those. So that's
also email.
Yep.
You guys can email us topics. If anybody's really curious about that, you can email us topics. Is it ztargeting2016?
Yeah, the same thing.
At Gmail?
Yeah, ztargeting2016 at Gmail. Email us topics, questions, suggestions, anything like that. And if you tweeted us or put comments on our YouTube videos or any of these avenues, we'll be checking those out. We'd love to hear from our listeners about what you guys want to talk about too. So that would be great. Us personally, you can follow me at LukeDalla23 on Twitter. If you guys are comfortable sharing your Twitters, feel free as well.
I mean, it's in the description, but I'll say at Dakota0089.
And mine is at Brow Gaming.
So that's where you can find us. Again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.